12 months ago, I thought AI agents were extremely complicated to build. They were something only for developers and coders and people that had a, really strong, heavy tech background. Over the last year, building my AI automation consultancy, I've learned that AI agents and automation and autonomous agents are actually relatively straightforward to build. Unfortunately, we live in a world where people like to overcomplicate these things, because if they overcomplicate it, they can normally charge a lot of money for those skills. But actually, I think anybody can go and build an AI agent these days. You don't have to pay, tens, 20s, 30s, even hundreds of thousands of dollars to have these systems implemented into your business, right? So today I'm just going to show you kind of how easy that is and how simple it is to build an AI agent. And in this case, I'm just going to show you how to build a content agent. It's going to be really simple, really straightforward. I'm going to show you the finished product, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to build it within N8N. And hopefully this will just show you how easy it is, right? And anybody can do it, even if you haven't got any coding skills and you're not from a tech background. The process at which to do it is really, really straightforward. So look, my name's Joe. As with everything on the channel, this is all about AI, the business side of AI, automation, and I want to talk about the business side of these types of agents as well at the end of the video. So yeah, let's get into it. So this is kind of the finished product. Really, really simple. So all this is a Telegram trigger. So this just means that there is a message that I send to Telegram, and it takes that, and that it's almost like as if I'm talking to the agent, and that's kind of my way of communicating with this workflow. Now, there is a reason I do this, and just for me, and the value and the use case of using Telegram is that I've got it on my phone, it's on the go. So if I've got a content idea, or if I've got something I want to talk about, I can really, really quickly open my phone, go to Telegram, and I will message the content assistant that I've created in Telegram, which I'll show you. And so all that does is that then just goes into the next piece, which is called an edit fields. And I'll go into this in a bit, but all that does is there's a lot of metadata that Telegram parses through to N8N. And really all we want is the text. We want the message. We don't need all the other data around it. So that goes through an edit fields node, and that just extracts that purely the text that I send. And then what we've got a content agent, which is connected up to our Gemini Pro model on the OpenRouter platform. We've connected a simple memory, and then what we've got a tool here, which is a Google Sheets tool to store all the content. So that's it. That is the simplest way that you can start to build an agent that's going to give you some good results back. So I'll show you how this works initially. So what we've got is our Telegram trigger. And as you can see here, I've got my content assistant. So what I can do is I can message this content assistant with an idea that I've got for some content, for some either like LinkedIn content, YouTube content, whatever it might be. We can code up the agent for whatever the use case is. In this case, it's going to be for LinkedIn. So let's think, what can I say? Let's say let's talk about this topic, right? Which is, I hate how complex and complicated AI agents are being sold. Being sold as anyone can build them with the technology available. Let's just leave it at that for now. So I'm just going to send this off, and I'll quickly jump back into my workflow, and I'll go to executions. You can actually see here it's running, so you can actually see that, and we can see it's running, and we've still got it here. So this is going to take a few minutes to run. And the reason for that is because within the content prompt, and I'll come and show you what that looks like, is because what we've got I think we've got 18 different themes. So one thing with content is that you can take one idea and one kind of topic, and it can be put into like a multitude of different kind of themes, and that really helps with like content creation, because it means you're not having to rethink of ideas over and over again. You can kind of recycle this one idea into lots of different themes. And then you can spread that content right throughout the month, the year, whatever it might be. So this will take a little bit of time to run, but I'll come into the content sheet. Here we go. So what we've got here, you can see I've got our idea. So our core idea pulls through on the left hand side, and then we've got a pane, myth busting, status shift, bold number, short story, analogy, step by step, hot take, case study, question, warning, cheat code, relatability, authority, trend, future cast, mistake, and challenge. So we've got quite a few different topics in there, and what the agent has done is, in the prompt that I'll show you, I've said choose the best ones that you think will fit into this particular idea, and it's gone through that and it's now given me some content ideas. So we can see here we've got like how to build an AI agent, no code required. We've got hook, the era of AI engineering is ending, the era of AI architects is here. So cool, like there's just some good ideas here, right? And again, this prompt that we've got in the agent is relatively straightforward. So some of this content's quite short. It's maybe not perfect, but it gives you an idea of what we want to build. So if we come back to the content and then the editor, so I'm going to kind of go through that now and how this works. And like I say, this is like really, really straightforward. We've only got kind of 5 kind of pieces to this puzzle, as it were. And so I'm going to leave this up here, but I'll kind of build it, and I'll show you the ins and outs of each piece. So first thing we want to do, we obviously want our trigger. So we want this connected to a Telegram trigger. And this is all here on the right-hand side within NA10. So you can see here, if we go down to the bottom, we've got lots of different things here on a message, on a poll change, on a shipping query, edited message, whatever it might be. But what we've got here is in a message now. So I can't add 2 of these triggers in just because we're in the same workflow. So I'll show you what it looks like here. And we go into this, and all we're doing is we're connecting up with our Telegram account, and that's all done within Telegram. So if you go to, if you do the bot father on Telegram, it will then walk you through the process, and all you need to do is ask for an access code, and it will give you that. I won't show you on here because it's got my API keys and access codes there, but it's really, really straightforward. And then what we want to do is trigger on message, and that's it. And so that then will be running. So when we're in production, that then runs. And what we've then got is it's kind of always listening for a message, right? It's always going to be listening and kind of so anytime we send a message, it's going to immediately trigger. The next thing we've got here is an edit fields. So what I'll show you here, if you type in edit fields on the right hand side, we've got edit fields or a set node, we've got this here, and this is what it looks like. So this might look scary, but it's really not. All we're doing, so let me just delete that one. So what we're doing is that Telegram trigger that pulls through, and I'll try and show you some test. Let me try and show you what it looks like, because I have to come out of production to kind of show you the data that Telegram is going to pull through, because this is in production. We're not getting that. So let me just show you what that looks like. Okay, so here we go, and we've got our kind of test, or we've got our output through the Telegram trigger. So what you'll see here on the right hand side, and again, this looks scary, but it's really not. This is just lots of metadata. We've got first name, last name, type. We've got kind of some information here that's kind of basically irrelevant, right, for our large language model. So all we're doing in the edit fields, and this is how we're going to do it, we just want to pull through the text. So all we want to pull through is that message, because that message contains the information that we want for content, right? So what we're doing here, we're just changing we're just setting the field. So what we want to pull through, and I'll show you how to do it here. We just want to pull through this. So what we're going to do is drag and drop this like straight in, and we're just going to name that text TXT, simple, easy to remember, and we can reference it in our other nodes. So all that's going to do, and if we execute that step, you can see it's only pulled through that information. That's perfect. That's what we want. So once we've got that, what we're then going to do is we're then going to build an AI agent. So what we want to do is we want to come to AI, and we want to just click AI agent, and this just gives us our kind of the very, very basic kind of setup or very basic starting point for our AI agent. And that's all we've got here. And all I've done is on this, I've renamed it content agent. So we go into content agent, and now this is where the prompting is really, really important, because this is going to be where, you know, we're going to give it context. We're going to give it instructions and rules and things to follow to make sure that it's doing exactly what we want. And in this case, we want it to do a few things. So we want it to, one is to create as content ideas. And then two, we want it to automatically populate the Google Docs, Google Sheets that we've got with all the ideas. And it will do that automatically because the AI will recognize the themes that we've got. So what I've got here, just to show you, so I've opened up that AI agent and we've got prompt user message. So let me just show you actually what it looks like as a blank template, just so if you're following along doing this and building this. So what we've got here, this is what it looks like initially. But what we don't want to do, we want to define below. So this will automatically say connected chat trigger node, but what we actually want is we want to define that below. And then what we can do is we can prompt that user and have that user message. And then what we can do is we can put in a system message. And that looks like, so that's all I've done is change those two things on my agent here. So you can see my prompt, my user message. You're an expert content writer and assistant. Your job is to help take one idea and turn it into different pieces of content, update the content tool. Now, this is really, really important, because what this does is this tells the AI agent to call upon the Google Sheets tool that we have connected to it. And that's what's going to almost kind of allow the agent to talk to Google Sheets to see the information that's in there. So it will populate the right columns and the right fields. So that's relatively straightforward. And then what we've got is a system message. So this is now a bit more detailed. It's going to go into like, you know, how to write the content, you know, guardrails to put in place, you know, what that content looks like, and here's what it looks like. So we got this, take this core idea. So if you remember, we changed in our edit fields, all we did was change that bit there to the word text. So all we're then doing is saying to our content agent, okay, take that text you can see there. So that's now referencing, take this core idea. I hate how complex and complicated AI agents are being sold as. Anyone can build them with the technology available. And all we're doing is referencing that from the previous node. So even though you won't be able, you can't see that JSON.text is just effectively, imagine that's just a shortened version of all of the information that we need and all of that text that we need to send to the AI agent, rather than you having to write it out. So within this, I've just got a relatively big prompt. I'll leave this prompt in a Google Doc at the bottom of this video, so you can go in and play around with it and do, take out or put in as many different versions as you want. So all I've done is take this core idea, which is our idea text, reframe it into the most suitable categories. I wrote listed, should say listed. Categories listed below to create LinkedIn post drafts. Do not try to put the core idea into all categories. It should only be in the ones that are most appropriate. Each one should use a unique angle, tone, or trigger. Here are the 20 angles to use. And then what we've just gone through every single one. You can see pain, myth busting, status shift, bold number, and then it kind of gives a quick snapshot of what that is. And then we've got rules. So each draft is less than 200 words, short lines, no fluff. Hook must be punchy in the first 2 lines. Call to action, like, comment, DM, or reflection. Keep tone scannable and LinkedIn native. Core idea input plus angle instruction plus the 20 angle list plus draft rules. Only return the theme and the post angle, nothing else. And you can play around with this, right? So if you specifically want more words, or you want a different tone or style of writing, this is... you can change this in here, but this is just kind of a kind of baseline and a good starting point for anyone. So that's what we've got. So that, again, we haven't done anything. We haven't created anything super complex. I've not coded anything. All I've done is kind of I've connected a few things together, and I've put some text in. And then what you'll see, and then what we have here is 3 things. So chat model. So I use Gemini Pro, and I use it through a website called OpenRouter. Now, OpenRouter allows you to connect to a number of different chat models, or any chat model you want, effectively, and it just keeps costs down. So rather than me having a Gemini Pro subscription, a ChatGPT subscription, a Anthropic Claude subscription, I can do it all through here, and it will charge me, a fraction of a penny basically per interaction I have, and it just keeps that cost down, especially if you're doing a lot of automation work and building AI agents. And all we do here is we just connect so you sign up for an OpenRouter account, and all I've done here is connected my credential with my API key. And again, don't be too scared by that terminology, that the word API. All that is when you sign up to OpenRouter, they will give you a key, and that API key just allows NA10 to connect and have a conversation with OpenRouter to basically say, yeah, this person has an account, and those systems can talk to each other. So don't be too worried again about that terminology. And all I do here is I just select my model. So we can see here all of these different models we've got available. We've got everything here you can imagine. Like I say, I prefer Gemini 3 Pro just because it's just better at creating content, I found. I think it just seems to be more creative. It gives different ideas. It writes differently. It feels more human than the kind of OpenAI model, which seems to just kind of churn out the same thing over and over again. So the second thing we've got is our memory, and this just allows the AI agent to have a bit of memory about what it's talking about, and it can go back over things, and it has a context window length of 5, so how many past interactions that the model can receive. Now, don't worry too much about the memory for this particular agent, because what we're not having to reference anything that we've already previously spoken about. All we're doing is saying, take this one idea, turn it into lots of different pieces of content, and it gives you that content, and that's it. If you wanted to obviously build an AI agent that was more complex, you would have a larger window length, and you can even have other things here as well. So if I click here, you've got huge memory databases or huge databases that you can store information in and data that then the AI agent can reference. But for this use case, don't worry about that. So we'll connect that up. And then the next part, which is obviously a really important part, is then connecting that to our Google Sheet. And yes, this again looks really, really scary, but it's relatively straightforward. So I don't want you to worry too much about what this looks like, but all we've got here is our Google Sheets account. So again, this is just my credentials. And if I click on this bit, I can literally sign in with Google. So I don't actually have to even do anything. I can literally click sign in via email and password, and it's done. And then we've got tool descriptions. So we've just got set manually, and it just says append or update row in Sheets on Google Sheets. That's great. Sheet with document, that's good. Append or update row, great. And then it says here from list, so you would have a drop down, and it would be able to pull through all the Google Sheets you've got in your Google Drive, and then you just pick the right one. And so I just chose content, and then it's the sheet. So the sheet is for this bit at the bottom where it says sheet 1. You might have 5 different sheets on here, and they'd all have different names. But for this particular one, it's just sheet 1, so that's just the name of the sheet. And then what we've got is map each column manually, and then column to match on. So what we've got is, because our idea, what we want to do is we've got our initial idea, and then we want everything in that column, or all the columns within that match the idea are going to filter in properly. So rather than it feeling like when it populates with the content, that the content's kind of all over the place in the Google Sheet, it knows that, okay, this is the idea, and these are all of the different contents for themes for that particular idea. And so all we do is we go idea using to match. So this is our text. So I don't need to do anything here. Again, I'm not coding anything up. I literally just drag and drop. So I can go text, and I can go idea using to match. And there we go. So we have already have that in place. And then all I go in, so you'll see here, you'll see this. So let the model define this parameter. So you can see on each one, we have a pane. So we've got our pane, myth busting, status shift, bold number. And all we're doing is clicking on the right-hand side, this let the model define that parameter, because that allows the model, in our case, it's Gemini, to see and to talk to the Google Sheet in a way. And it's saying, okay, well, I know that this piece of content I've created is under status shift, and so therefore it's going to go in the status shift field. And so you don't need to do anything here. The AI will do that for you. Cool. So that's it. And all we then do is click execute, like I did it right at the beginning, and we have an AI agent that is basically going to do this for you. Now, this is the simplest way to kind of show how easy it is to create AI agents that are going to give you some value, because this stops with, you know, you're not going to be spending hours on content creation with this. You're not going to, you know, be sat there at your desk thinking about what to write or running out of ideas. This just helps populate that. And obviously, as we can see, we've got a bunch of ideas within this. And you can go through each of these, and then you can add them to your content calendar. You can, you know, set a schedule on them. And obviously you can go more complex with this as well. So, you know, you might want to have, okay, well, after that, and after it's done this and it's populated those ideas, the next step might be to, okay, well, we want also to take the best idea out of those. So we want to go, okay, let's take our step by step, and we want to expand on that. So actually what we do is we pull through the step by step one in this particular, from this idea, and we want to create a LinkedIn post that expands on this, you know, makes it a bit more meatier for your audience. And then of course, I don't advise this, but there are services out there that obviously then you can schedule this content as well. So you might be able to have you can schedule it to be posted out on LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it might be. You know, you can have images go along with this as well. So with Nano Banana Pro, we can, each one of these posts then has a image that we can create with it via AI and via, again, API key. But look, for the time being, like if you've never done this before, this just kind of gives you a really easy kind of understanding of like AI agents and what that looks like and kind of how easy it is. You know, like for myself, 12 months ago, would never have even thought that this was possible to do, because I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer, I don't have a tech background necessarily. This is all self-taught, and I've learned this myself. But actually, as technology gets better and better and better, you don't need to know how to do certain things that actually can add quite a lot of value, you know, especially if you're a small business owner, you know, a founder, you know, someone that wants to, you know, create more of a presence or generate leads through content, but you don't have the time. This can solve that problem for you quite quickly. So yeah, look, I'll actually leave the JSON file. So again, this will be downloadable. You can literally take this file and you can go up here, and you can just upload it. So you can go to import from file on the right hand side here, and you'll be able to import this workflow, this agent, straight into your NA10 account, and without actually having to do much. And then you can just go in and put all your credentials in, and you'll have it up and running in no time. I'll also leave the prompts as well. So on a Google Doc, I'll leave the prompts there, because just saves you time as well. So all of these prompts here that you might want to play around with, these are relatively straightforward and quite basic. But certainly this one, there's quite a lot of good information in here around the different types of content, and then you can copy and paste that straight in as well. So yeah, let me know what you think. Hope this helps. Like I say, it's really simple and easy to build AI agents these days, and of course they can be more and more complicated, and you can add lots to them. But really, if you're just starting out and you're very new on your AI journey, this is a really good way to start kind of playing around with agents. So yeah, look, follow along, hit subscribe for more videos like this, and kind of the business side and AI and automation and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.